Hello and welcome to WJ Live. I'm Olivia Brown, your host, and this episode sponsored by Pure Bulk starts right now. There's been some disturbing news coming out of Texas. There was videos going viral yesterday all over the internet of a drag show that was child-friendly with lots of teachers in attendance and many children in attendance as well. It has strong graphic sexual content in it, and it's very sad to see that our children are growing up this way. Let's show this tweet from Sarah Gonzalez. She is a reporter for The Blaze, and she was there. She said Anderson Distillery in Roanoke, Texas, held a, quote, family-friendly drag event earlier. Aside from the children present, there were some safety concerns. The staff admitted they were violating fire code and overcapacity. They also gave minors a wristband that said drinking age verified. In no world should a child get a drinking age verified bracelet. Plus, why are they having this child-friendly event at a bar? Children should not be in bars in the first place, and this brings me back to that one issue that happened in Florida before where DeSantis ended up shutting them down for having children in the bar, and I really agreed with that, and I think that Texas should probably go ahead and do the same. I've told a lot of friends about this, and they're like, why is this happening in Texas? And the reason is that Democrats and leftists, they want to make red states like Texas just as liberal as the other states. I've seen it happen here in Arizona as well. We've moved towards a purple state, and that's really what they're trying to do in Texas. Now, the interesting part about this story is that when I went to go find the video from this, it was flagged as sensitive content on Twitter. As you can see here, I wasn't even allowed to see it. It said you have to change your settings, which is so misleading because my settings are actually set for sensitive content because I've had this happen over and over again. And this video we're going to show you, it is flagged as sensitive content on Twitter, but it's not sensitive content enough for children to be at the drag show itself. Let's show this disturbing video. All like this. If you look at the person, she's like this, which to me shows that the child was anxious being there. And really, it was sad to see the little kid with a teddy bear, and this trans drag queen is jumping on tables. This is so not what children should be seeing at such an early age. If you have a teddy bear, you should not be at an event with a drag queen. It is so sad to see what our culture and what parents are not doing their duty to protect their child from that. And also, one of the biggest parts of this was that there was a lot of teachers there, and there was a reporter, Taylor Hanson, an independent reporter in Texas, and he went undercover to talk to some of the middle school students teachers as well. And there was about 20 teachers in attendance who had brought their children from school to this event. Let's show this video.
But I also I taught theater for elementary, middle school, and high school students. So teachers, any teacher in the audience? Give a big round of applause for all of our educators that take care of their kids.
Well, I'm a teacher at Keller ISD, and they've taken over our school board, and they're trying to pull any LGBTQ book off of the shelves in the library, anything about marginalized peoples at all. And their goal is to shut down critical thought. It really is. They're fear mongering. They don't even know what they don't know. So,
I bet none of them have ever been to a drag show before.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So they say that they're going to be shutting down critical thought. So what do they say to, in California, only books from 2016 and onward for curriculum, and that's not shutting down critical thought? And it's really disturbing to see how teachers have really become prevalent in pushing this ideology to kids. And it's been so detrimental to these young children to see this. And even for me, if I was a parent, even if it had nothing to do with the LGBTQ community, I would not want my children seeing, say, a woman dancing like that as well. So I think that it's just wrong what these parents are doing. There was a parent that really went off the rails. So this one mother, it was so because she is driving by and she pulls out her breast and does it right in front of her child. And she was doing this to protesters to be like, look at me, I don't care what you think. She was throwing up the middle finger. And let's show this lady what she looked like. So, woman attending a family-friendly drag brunch in Roanoke, Texas, argues with protesters and exposes her breasts with her child in the car. Demonic. That really is demonic if you are exposing yourself to not only a mass amount of people, but also your child. Children are not supposed to see those things so young. And you also saw the same woman was incredibly drunk when she was with her child. And then she went on to pretend to kiss him. It was a very, very weird incident that we saw. Let's look at this. She said, same mother seen outside the venue with her son, hanging all over him, trying to kiss him while he pulls away. Sickening. And the reason that I actually, instead of putting this as a video, put them as screenshots is because I don't think you guys need to see that. It's disturbing that a mother is doing that to her child, and honestly, I really fear for that child in how he grows up as well. Another interesting part of this story was that Antifa showed up. And Antifa was there, and they were there to be sort of bodyguards for them, for the LGBTQ people that were there. You can see that they have gay flags as well. It was a very strange setup. Look at them with their guns, their AK-47s, outside of a, quote, child's brunch. So why would you need guns outside of a, quote, child's brunch unless you think that something is very wrong going in there, is my question. And there was even snipers outside on the third floor right nearby. The Antifa snipers were up there. I'm just questioning, why did there need to be snipers up so high? What did they think was going to be happening? And it's so strange that Antifa showed up, but, Antifa loves to show up when there is any sort of event that they think is going to get them attention and get them recognition that they want, and try to really further the narrative of what they believe is anti-fascist. But what we know is actually they are putting forth a fascist ideology, by the efforts that they have been doing. This woman that was shown there as well, she also hates on Christians. She calls them Christo-fascists. That's the terminology I've been seeing all over Twitter now. They're trying to say it's Christian fascism, which I don't even know where they get that from. But she was screaming about hate for Christians as well as she was exposing herself. That really, does show that that was a demonic act. To me, that's what I got from that. And I know a lot of people, and I'm sure you as well, are feeling that way. And we really need to continue to protect our children and do all that we can. PureBulk has a variety of healthy supplements that can help push you through your workout or your work week. Go to purebulk.com and enter code WJLive to get a 15% discount on your entire order. On to our next subject. There was the American Action Network just put out this great ad, and it is part of a series of ads that is going to be 6 figures that is really showing what is wrong with Joe Biden's student forgiveness, in that it is actually helping rich kids, Ivy League kids, and hurting the middle class. Let's watch this video.
I spend more time working on these cars than with my own family.
I spend my days digging holes, cutting grass, and sweating.
This is job number 2 today. So my customers aren't the only ones drinking coffee.
I'm breaking my back out here for one reason.
I want to pay off some other guy's debt.
Biden's plan to pay other people's college loans using my tax dollars is a great idea.
Biden's right. You should take my tax dollars to pay off your debts. My family will figure out how to get by with less. What's most important is we spare college graduates from any extra stress.
Want to be a struggling artist? College is on me.
My kids don't need fancy things like school supplies or new shoes.
I work for you, theater major.
This shift is for you, business major. Go buy yourself that new car.
Enjoy your free ride. College is on me.
Tell Congress, stop Biden's bailout for rich kids.
That was really telling on how people, myself included, are feeling about Joe Biden's Ivy League bailout. And really, the reason people are so upset is that I want to show there is a difference between people who are making minimum wage jobs and are trying to pay off their loans and have been pushed down by crazy, crazy interest versus what President Biden is doing. He is essentially helping rich kids, people who make over $100,000, giving them relief to their student loans. That is really, really what is wrong here. And we're not here to vilify people who have got student loans, because almost everybody nowadays in college has to get a student loan. We see that you have to sign up with FAFSA anytime that you go to college now. I actually have a friend who did decide to pay for her own college, but she had to forego a scholarship that she had because she didn't want to get a FAFSA loan, and the loan for her scholarship needed to go through FAFSA. So that is a big government problem that we're seeing now. This is the big government. It is not people making middle income wage, and it's really the problem is with the government that we're seeing here. But this video really shows how a lot of people in America are feeling, because statistics show that 87% of Americans pay for 13% of the entire debt. And also the Brookings Institute shows that 56% of the student debt that is going to be relieved is from graduate degrees. And so that is, a graduate degree is when someone has already finished their undergraduate degree and is moving towards something higher. This means they could be a doctor or a lawyer who essentially makes a lot more money. And graduate degree is more of an optional. I know that undergraduate is optional as well, but really with so many jobs you have to have an undergraduate, but not as many you have to have a graduate. So that's really telling of what we're seeing here. This is going to help rich people and hurt the middle class, is what Biden is doing with canceling student debt. As I said before, we're not talking about the people who are trying to pay off their loans, because really that's not the issue here. And I do think that we should try to come together with some sort of bipartisan bill or issue to help this and create a solution, because really what the Democrats have done, this is not bipartisan. This is going to hurt the American people. And studies show as well that there's going to be $200,000 more in taxes for each individual American. That is not helping Americans, but maybe we could introduce something that takes off the crazy interest from these loans. And that's really what has been the problem. I have a friend that shared with me that originally it was $54,000 that they were supposed to pay, but because of interest, they are now having to pay $140,000. That is a scam, and that is wrong of the government to be doing that. And we should be calling that out instead of hurting the taxpayers and hurting the American families even more. You know what else is hurting American families? What we're seeing now is that mortgage rates are up tremendously. So we took this big jump, $1,200 to $2,400, and that is all because of Joe Biden. That shows from when he went into office and then when he went into now, what we're seeing now. All these different problems that we're seeing are all because of Joe Biden and the crazy inflation. And, you know, I've really been seeing, we read our comments, and sometimes we read our comments from the people that don't like us as much. And a lot of what they've been saying is, well, the inflation is going down now. And, well, actually, it's still crazy. Just look at that graph I just showed you. And we're also seeing that rent is the highest that it's been in 35 years. So people can barely afford to buy a home, and they can't afford to rent. This is insane, and this is an economic crisis that we haven't seen really since about 2008, and this is worse than the 2008 economic crisis. People are saying now that I was looking at a poll recently that said 56% of people thought that we were in an economic crisis in 2008, and now 58% in 22 believe that we are in an economic crisis. So 2% of people think that we are more in an economic crisis than we were back in 2008 in that recession. And so really, this is all based from bad policies, and it comes down to who you're voting for, and really is the reason that you need to be voting conservatives, supporting conservatives. Please make sure that you support the Western Journal. We are fighting extremely hard to get content like this for you, and you can subscribe to us and help us out a little bit. It is the westernjournal.com/join. And we really need your help and would appreciate that. And I'd also love to mention, thank you so much for joining today. Pure Bulk is our sponsor. Make sure that you can get your 15% discount by going to purebulk.com and using the code WJLive.